Hi everyone, my name is Anna. Welcome to my channel, and today I just want to chat about my physical TBR. So I'm gonna be going through all the books that I have in my physical TBR currently. I just kind of want to remind myself what books I've got on my shelves right now in order to get through them quicker, because I'm under some kind of a book buying ban that I imposed on myself. I feel like I was buying so many books like non-stop for quite a while, and the books that I bought much longer ago I still haven't read, and they've just been sitting on my shelf for such a long time. So I've decided to stop buying books for some time and just get through my TBR. And when I have at least 2 books left on my shelf, I'm going book shopping again. But until that happens, I have to read all of my physical TBR. Today I just want to show you what I have. I have only 6 books. So I'll start with the book that I'm currently reading. Yeah, it's not really on my TBR anymore, but I started it pretty recently, so I want to talk about it a little bit. And it's A Tempest of Tea. I'm not sure how to pronounce this author's name, so I'll leave it somewhere on the screen. Anyway, A Tempest of Tea, as far as I know, this is the first book in duology. It's a vampire, kind of a heist duology. Let me read the premise for you. Her prestigious tea room transforms into an illegal bloodhouse by night, catering to the vampires feared by society. But when the tea room and its secrets come under threat, Arthur must lead a gang of outcasts in a high-stakes heist to the sinister vampire underworld. But even as unexpected romances blossom, Arthur realizes that not everyone in her ragtag crew is on her side, and she soon finds herself in the midst of a conspiracy that will threaten the world as she knows it. So that is the premise of this book, and I just thought it sounded really fun when I was getting it. I'm not even 100 pages in. Yeah, I'm 66 pages in. I'm just currently getting to know the characters. I'm getting to know their backstories, why they are where they are now. This business that Arthur, our main character, leads. She has this tea room that is an actual tea room in the daylight, but when the night comes it transforms into a blood house. So they serve actual blood to vampires that live pretty much in the same city. At the beginning, the story tells you that rumors has it in the vampire society there have been some disappearances as well as in the human society. So they're not really peaceful, I want to say. Obviously, I'm enjoying it so far. I don't know if I'll read the second book though. I really hope I love this. This year there have been so many books that almost got me into reading slump. So I hope this is not one of them. And yeah, that is basically A Tempest of Tea. Now let's move on to my actual physical TBR. And the first book that we can see is The Dead Zone by Stephen King. I started this book a couple of weeks ago, but I was just not vibing with it. I don't know, the writing style seemed so difficult for some reason. I don't know why, the sentences seemed too long for me. I will usually enjoy Stephen King's writing. I love his writing. I love how straightforward he is, but something in this book just didn't feel quite right to me at that time. So I decided to put it down and pick up another book. I'm definitely going to pick this back up, of course, a bit later. Yeah, The Dead Zone. Waking up from a 5-year coma after a car accident, former school teacher Johnny Smith discovers that he can see people's futures and pasts when he touches them. Many consider his talent a gift, but Johnny feels cursed. His fiancée has met someone else, and people are clamoring for him to solve their problems. When Johnny has a disturbing vision after he shakes the hands of an ambitious and moral politician, he must decide if he should take drastic action to change the future. So this is about changing the future, and I've already figured that Stephen King has quite a few books about like the same things, trying to change the past or the future, predicting things and stuff. I don't know how much horror this book is or whatever. I don't think this is horror actually. I've heard this is about a nuclear weapon, but I'm not sure. I also know there's a lot of movie adaptations to this book, which is great. I love reading Stephen King books and then watching the adaptations. It's the best experience for a reader. When you read a book, it turns out to be a good book, you love it, then you go watch the adaptation and the adaptation is also good, and it's just like you're on cloud nine. The thing is, there's several adaptations and I don't want to watch like all of them in a row. I want to pick one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna read lots and lots of reviews on the adaptations in order to decide which one is probably the best, so I can go watch it after I'm done with this. The next book I have in my TBR is Geishas and the Floating World. Now I actually regret buying this book. Let me explain. One time I watched a movie called Memoirs of Geisha. I loved that movie so much that I realized I just wanted to read more Japanese books about this culture, how it all works there, and just about like traditional Japan in general. Because yeah, like I'm deeply in love with that movie. And so then I saw this book with a big discount and I decided like, why not? It's something about geishas. I just need it right away. And so I bought it. And then when I flicked through it, I realized that this might actually be a non-fiction, which will probably make it hard for me to get through. It was an impulsive purchase. I truly regret getting it because I don't know if I'll ever get through this book. Like, the thing is, I wanted fiction, some kind of a literary fiction maybe, or fantasy, or at least just literary fiction, but set in the like traditional, like old Japan. Or maybe not old, but traditional, you know what I mean? Well, this is pretty much it. There's almost like no dialogues, and don't get me wrong, I have no issue with reading prose, of course. But the thing is, even if it's like marketed as a fiction, which I think it is, it just doesn't read like that. I like read just, you know, a couple of pages. This is not going to be easy. This is just not going to be easy. Like, maybe I will like the information that is in this book, but it may be hard for me to like get through that information because of the way the information is delivered. I may just have some issue with that. We'll see. I will definitely get to this book, but I don't know if I'll get through it like completely, or if I'll DNF it, or maybe I will just not pick it up anytime soon. I don't know. Here I have a Korean literally or historical fiction, I guess. It's called Pachinko. I've heard so many good things about this book, but I still haven't picked this up because I love when books are set in Korea as well. Like, I love Korean books. I love this like healing literature type of books as well, which as far as I know originate in Korea or Japan, something like that, or both. So I love that. But this is not the healing literature type of book. It's more of a real like historical fiction. It's about a family, the generations of that family. As far as I remember from the premise, because I don't have it on the back of this book right now, it's something adventurous, something a little bit heartbreaking maybe, about her mom and her kids, because I just can see them on the cover. Something historical about a family. This book gets you through like many years. It's about what this family went through during those years. I've just not been feeling like a historical fiction lately. I kind of want to read it still, but I'm just not in the mood. And I'm simply not in the mood. Like, I bought it a long time ago. I mean, not really a long time, like how much is a long time? I don't know, maybe I bought it like a year ago or like a few months ago. I don't remember, maybe half a year ago. However long ago I bought this, it's still on my TBR, so I have to read it. But I don't know, we'll see. I'm just not in the mood for historical fiction. It sounds good, and I've heard that it's like the story is very moving and heartbreaking and healing at the same time, and like just so many different but good things. So yeah, we'll see. we'll see if I get to this book. We're almost done with my TBR. I have 2 more books. One of them is The Night Ship by Jess Kidd. And I think I've heard this name before. I think I've seen it somewhere. I can't remember where. And it also has a quote by V. Schwab on the cover, a true work of magic. I haven't had the best experience with V. Schwab books, so I don't know if I should trust her. But if she says a true work of magic, then it means that this is probably a fantasy book or like something with magical realism, something like that. We love that. We love magical realism or fantasy or whatever it is. Something weird. I guess this is some kind of a mystery, something like magic related as well. Sounds good. As far as I can see, there's time jumps, different POVs, maybe not. Yeah, but I can see something like time traveling, definitely. Maybe not time traveling, but just different POVs, except in different like years, different times. One shipwreck, 2 misfits, 300 years apart. 1628, a young girl called Macon boards the Batavia, the most impressive sea vessel of the age. As she uncovers shadowy secrets above and below deck, the fate of the ship becomes increasingly uncertain. 1989. Gil, a boy mourning the death of his mother, is placed in the care of his reclusive grandfather. Their home is a shack on a tiny fishing island off the Australian coast, notable only for its reefs and wrecked boats. This is no place for a misfit child. How long until Gil's actions get him noticed by the wrong people? Actions. So this boy is doing something fishy, something wrong. Maybe not something wrong, because it says, what if his actions get him noticed by the wrong people? So maybe he's not the one wrong here. We don't know. Anyway, we have 2 main characters as far as I can see, right? This girl Macon, who discovers something odd on the ship, and Gil, the boy who now lives on this island, and he's doing something that might get him noticed by some unwanted people, probably. It says that it's something like modern gothic ghost story, magical realism, and it sounds interesting, so I do want to read it. And finally, the last book on my TBR is actually a very short book. I guess it's even more of a short story, not even like a full novel, or maybe it is considered a novel. It's 130 pages long. It's a graphic novel. It's called Cycle of the Werewolf by Stephen King. I'm not a fan of short stories or like short novels like this. Yeah, but I bought it first of all because I want to read, if not all, then as many books by Stephen King as I can. So I would eventually buy it anyway, probably. This just looked so pretty. And it's not that easy to get any Stephen King book you want in the place where I live. So I was happy to see this one. Well, I don't usually read graphic novels. I think it's going to be my first graphic novel. It has these beautiful illustrations. Something about werewolves attacking people, maybe, I don't know, but yeah, like, clearly. It's not that I'm very interested in the story, because like, again, I'm not a fan of short stories and I'm not a fan of werewolves related books, but we'll see. Maybe I like it because I love Stephen King, so maybe I will like this story too. But the illustrations, even if I will read it, but even if you don't, it's just so pretty to just like be in your collection. Anyway, that is the last book on my physical TBR. Those are all the books that I have on my shelves unread. I'm just planning to read them as soon as possible and go book shopping again. I hope you like this video. Let me know in the comments what you're currently reading, or if you read any of the books I mentioned in this video, and I'll see you in the next one.